Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Stephen Larson. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. If you're not here in America or you're not into that, hopefully you just had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully over the weekend you had a chance to catch our latest episode of Count Out, where we looked at the worst Money in the Bank cash-ins. I thought it was a pretty darn good episode. So be sure to check that out. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about, of course, last night's Monday Night Raw, fallout from Money in the Bank, talk about briefly SmackDown and Rampage, and Impact Against All Odds. God, I forgot that was on Friday.
That was Friday. It seems
we
like
have
it was
not
a week
talked
ago.
about it yet.
No, not at all.
So there's all that. But first, we got a couple of bits of news. Larson, what's this I hear about a potential AEW WWE Super Show confirmed?
So, of course, following the success of AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door, Tony Khan talked about the possibility of another cross-promotion Super Show on the most recent episode of The Masked Man Show, but this time with WWE. Khan was asked about the possibility of such a show happening, to which Tony responded, "These transcripts come to you via post-wrestling." That's what Khan had to say. Quote, "I'm not sure if that's going to happen. AEW doing a joint show, but I would be open to talking about that type of thing. It's not crazy, but it's a bold prediction." I'm hard-pressed to think that's ever going to happen so long as Vince is in charge of WWE. He seems to want the world of pro wrestling to be WWE and not much else. Now, if someone else started or took control of the company after Vince is out of there, then you never know. I'd still be surprised, but I wouldn't be as shocked if it were to happen, someone else in charge as opposed to Vince.
I'll be honest with you. I kind of feel like if it's going to happen, it would. You're absolutely right. I think Vince still does have a soft spot for professional wrestling. I think he does. I mean, the dude came up on it. You can go back and look at old, early 80s Vince commentary, and he talks about the sweet science of professional wrestling. He's into it.
So here's my theory. Vince likes professional wrestling. He likes to watch it, but it's not what he's really interested in doing.
No, you're right, because if you allow me to finish, it doesn't make him money. Sports entertainment makes him money. So I think if it were likely to happen, it would be under Vince, but it's never going to happen because Vince is never going to consider WWE on the same level, because that's what it would essentially be doing is, we're going to have a co-promotion thing. It would be sort of admitting that WWE is on par with AEW at a time, especially now, when he's trying to value WWE as high as possible. Their market cap's around $5 billion, which means he probably, if he's going to sell the company, is probably going to want somewhere in the realm of $7 to $8 billion, you would think, because they want a lot more than the market cap is worth.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you can't be on the same par as an AEW, because then you're sort of valuing them up. And I just think financially, business-wise, I don't think he would ever do that. Once it's out of his hands, I kind of feel like it's even less at that point, because you're going to bring in, again, business people who are going to be competing for those TV dollars. And while you're number one, I just don't know that you're going to want to spotlight number two. I just, and think that you're on, what WWE has is, we're the biggest. We are the biggest. Our people are the best. And I think that when you have them face off like that, and some of your people are losing to some of their people, I just think business-wise, it probably doesn't make sense. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people see that there is value to it. I hope they do, because I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a situation where they're like, okay, business is steady on our end, what could we do to generate interest and actual excitement, in our product? We've brought Brock Lesnar in for the 15th time. He's not impacting ratings like he used to. Like Cena, we can't rely on him to come in and pop ratings. What can we do to generate some interest in our product? Well, we could do this. The one thing WWE struggles with is seeming cool. And if they were to open up and do some collaborations with other promotions, it'd make them seem a lot cooler.
Yeah, but
especially
I don't know.
if they've done any work course right. Do they care about that? Probably not.
How would
they
that
care
benefit them from you're right, but how would seeming cool benefit them when seemingly it hasn't been like when AEW tried to seem cool with New Japan, it didn't help their ratings?
No, I know, but if WWE is potentially struggling with younger viewers, it's a potential thing. That's one thing AEW does really well with is a younger viewership. That's one aspect where seeming cool could potentially benefit them, because if people are like, "Oh, WWE, I don't want to watch that. That's boring and doesn't appeal to me." Well, you have, I don't know, Kenny Omega show up on Raw. People would be like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. Maybe I'll tune in for that." It could lead to nothing, but that's like beyond the dollars and cents aspect of it. That's like the only potential benefit WWE could maybe get from it, and even that's fairly minimal. It is.
I mean, my thing is this, like, I'm trying to wrap my head around. I just don't like when they want to seem cool. They do stuff like bring in Bad Bunny, who's legitimately cool. They bring in Logan Paul, who a lot of people think is that, I guess, from what I understand. I don't.
Or as we're going to get to it in a few minutes here, Tyson Fury.
Yeah, which, look, you and I have no interest in, and I get that. I totally get it. I would love AEW versus WWE. It would do wonders for us from a business standpoint. For us, it would do great. I just don't know how. I mean, in terms of seeming cool, I don't see how it would. I just don't see how that would. WWE, they beat AEW in every possible demographic. I don't know why they would look at that and say, "Oh, let's go ahead and do that." The AEW, like, they know the AEW crowd knows what WWE is. So even like trying to get some of the AEW crowd, I don't know that there would be an appeal there. I mean, I feel like it'd be catering to the people who are already watching, and the people who aren't watching aren't going to be swayed by it anyways. So from a business standpoint, I just don't see why anybody would think this is a good idea, but I think it'd be an awesome idea. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it would be an awesome idea.
It'd be great.
It would be awesome.
They should do it.
Never going to happen, though. Never going to happen.
Yeah.
Mentioned Tyson Fury earlier. Of course, we last saw him in the WWE ring in 2019 in a match against Braun Strowman that wasn't much.
No.
But
definitely
anyways,
not.
Fury,
that definitely does not have the cool factor.
No. Fury has spoken about wanting to get back in the WWE ring, and it looks like it could be happening soon. Give Me Sport is reporting that, quote, sources close to Fury says the 33-year-old boxer is in talks with WWE regarding a potential return this summer. I'd be very surprised if he's not at least make an appearance in a segment at Clash at the Castle. He might even have another match. But not be surprised.
Yeah. That's going to be like the bathroom break for me. Because I'm not going to, I mean, I can't because I have to be watching it for my work. I work at this place called Going in Raw. But, I mean,
if it's just like a backstage segment, you can be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go get, a slice of pizza or something and just go, and it'll be short, and then he'll say stuff, and then he'll leave, and then that'll be that.
I wish. This is gonna be a match.
Probably.
You're not gonna get him for backstage. You're gonna pop the crowd. You're gonna put him out there for a match. Maybe it'll be a tag match. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Aaron Craig here in chat says he'll face a Moss.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. He's a big name over there, I guess. But yeah, again, I don't know. Let me know. Let us know in the comments. You guys into this? You good?
Yeah.
Not in Twitch chat. Well, Twitch chat, I don't know. You guys can do it if you want to.
Seeing Tyson Fury in a WWE ring, is that of interest?
Does that have the cool factor?
That interest you in terms of putting on something interesting?
I'm
not even saying a good match, just interesting.
Definitely has a cool factor. Big E.
You got that right.
No, a couple weeks ago, Big E posted a video which showed him throwing his neck brace into a garbage can. Yeah. Yesterday, Big E gave us the latest update on his condition, tweeting this. Update. He says, my C1 isn't ossifying, forming bone quite yet. The current plan is to get more scans at the 1-year mark and see how it's progressing. The great news is I feel tremendous and surgery is off the table.
So that's good. No surgery. That's great news.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would think that maybe surgery would preclude an in-ring return. Maybe is the idea. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've heard when Sting was talking about, hey, there's a surgery I can get on my neck, but it would mean I can't wrestle again. And then from then I just thought, any surgery on your neck is going to.
It would depend on the nature of the surgery, I guess, and where because I'd assume they'd have to do a fusion and where the fusion would be at. I mean, like the C1, we heard, right after Vicky broke his neck, that the C1, it was like, that's the one you don't want to break.
Mm-hmm,
because that's the one that causes the highest chances of complications.
Yeah.
And serious complications at that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he seems upbeat, even though his C1 isn't quite forming bone yet, but that takes time.
Mm-hmm,
When a few years ago, my dad broke his shoulder. And, they say, you have to have it in his case, a sling for 6 to 8 weeks. You think, 6 to 8 weeks, then bang, you're good. 6 to 8 weeks is just when bone starts growing,
Yeah.
And when it's stable enough and they see in the x-rays that bone's starting to grow, all right, then you can get out of your cast or whatever. At least in his case, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So this was in March, I think. So it's 3.5, 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, waiting a year to get a checkup and seeing how it's going. I mean, so at the minimum, that's another year he's going to be, 9 months he's going to be out of action.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And based on how recovery goes, I don't know what the prognosis is for him in terms of getting back in the ring. If that's even something he wants to do after this,
Yeah.
Don't know.
I would imagine it's probably like, hey, let's just get this all figured out, and then it's probably far too early to even consider, okay, well, what are my options at that point,
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, he's amazing. Seems like such a great guy. And,
he seems like just the best dude.
And if he's, happy about certain things, then I'm happy about certain things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, our best wishes go out to Big E and his continued recovery.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, by Optimizer. Steve, tell me what you know about magnesium.
Magnesium? Can't say I know much about that, man.
Oh, well, here's something that you should know. 75% of us don't get enough of it, even though it's involved in like 80% of our body's metabolic reactions. And when you don't get enough magnesium, you can suffer from poor sleep, low energy, and higher stress levels.
Bad sleep?
Yeah.
Low energy?
Mm-hmm.
High stress?
Yep.
That sounds like you, Larson.
Well, it did sound like me, but I started taking Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough, and I've noticed that I've been sleeping deeper and longer. My stress levels have gone down while my energy has gone up. And if you've taken Magnesium Breakthrough before, you'll want to try this new formula because it now includes cofactors like B6 and manganese to help with magnesium absorption, which means it's even more effective. All you got to do is take 2 capsules before bed, and you'll be amazed how much better you sleep and how your mood and energy levels are improved the next day.
For an exclusive offer for Going In Raw listeners, go to magbreakthrough.com/raw and use code RAW during checkout to save 10% and get free shipping. Again, go to magbreakthrough.com/raw and use code RAW during checkout to save 10% and get free shipping. All right, man, let's talk about last night's Monday Night Raw after Money in the Bank. It felt like the show after a pay-per-view. We're sort of, they're doing a bit of a victory lap, a couple new things set up. I really loved Liv Morgan. Number one, you put Becky and Asuka in any main event on any show every single week. I don't care if it's every week. I will be into it. These two have got a chemistry that is just absolutely off the charts, and I love to see it. And it's so great. So that main event I was super into. There was I really liked Liv Morgan's promo. I haven't always been on board with like her promo and her delivery and stuff, but I thought she came off as very genuine. She didn't come off as like a nervous Nelly or anything, because sometimes she does. I thought it was good. I love that she said, "Hey, this title is for it's a small thing," but she didn't say this title is for you. She said this title's for us. And I like that. It's kind of a difference. Sometimes people are like, hey, this is for you guys out here. It's like, no, we're all in this together. I like that. Exactly. I thought it was a really good promo.
Yeah, it's like a communal thing. We're all part of this. It's not just me and you, We're in this together. It was one of the first times where a Liv promo came off as extremely genuine. And I wonder how much of this was scripted versus them just saying, all right, just hit these points, and this is your chance to really make a statement after finally winning the title. So let's go out there and do it, Because a lot of times she kind of speaks in kind of the same tone of voice.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of ebb and flow and changes in terms of the emotive aspect of her speaking, but this was 100% emotion.
Sometimes
it seemed genuine.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes they've just sort of jerked her around so much with like, okay, you're going to win here, but then you're going to be the guy that eats a pin here. And I wonder if it's just sort of hard to keep tabs on where's my emotional state supposed to be, And so like sometimes she just comes off as whiny, sometimes she comes off as confused, and then sometimes she comes off genuine. I think now that she has a distinct direction, at least in the short term, I'm champion. I won championship. Then she comes out and she's able to express herself, whether it was scripted or not. I'm not sure. I thought she did a great job though.
Yeah. You want to talk about Judgment Day looking like a bunch of fools?
We have to. Good Lord, man. Like it's just picking up the same crap. It's just worse. It's like when Finn showed up for Judgment Day, it was like, oh wow, it might be like, another kind of Bullet Club thing where he's like Prince Devitt. It's perfect. Yeah, exactly. Maggie has it right in chat. Retribution 2.0. They look like assholes last night.
They do.
They look
really
like
do.
Assholes.
I mean, Finn looked cool in pants. They look great.
He's got great thighs, man. You don't want to cover those things up, dude.
He does. Well, I mean, what better way to turn heel than to cover up the
That's
thigh
a good
meat,
point.
Don't
let the people see the toys.
Exactly. Cover up the thigh meat. Heel heat. But everything else about it, they look like big dummies.
Yeah.
Really. And it's they didn't really change course from what Edge was doing, but they just lost the legitimacy factor of having a a Hall of Famer as their leader.
Mm-hmm.
That carries some weight.
Yeah.
But now they even got that.
Yeah, no, they don't have that. They got Finn in pants.
And I wonder if when Rhea comes back, if they'll, because it seemed like they were with Edge getting kicked out. The focus, as far as I know, they said they were kind of a group effort, no real leader. It seemed like Rhea was going to be one leading them.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
based on that one promo, whatever it was. And I guess I wonder now if with Rhea hurt, if they're just going to be kind of bumbling until maybe she comes back. I don't know.
Yeah, we never know what they're going to do, especially like when you're going up against Rey Mysterio. They might treat Rey like the legend he is, or they might treat him like a chump like they did with Veer. It's weird that they would treat him like a ragdoll with Veer, but then with Judgment Day, who's supposed to be, you'd think that Judgment Day would be a bigger threat than Veer. They look like bumbling fools.
They really did. They really did.
Yeah. So that was lame. I'll be honest with you. I liked what we saw from Theory's promo last night. I thought he was pretty damn good. I thought that he came off like he had a bit of a fire under him. Mm-hmm. I thought that, now that he's got the money in the bank, obviously there's a big spotlight on him. Is he going to be legitimate enough to cash in? Is he going to be able to, et cetera, et cetera? So it's just sort of like, it's like, okay, let's watch where he goes. Let's watch where as he develops.
Exactly.
And how he can do it. I do kind of wish that they would have stuck with like the in-ear mic thing or the headset thing they had.
Yeah. Or TED Talk.
TED Talk. Yeah. But that's a small thing. I thought that his promo on Lashley, I thought Lashley was good too. I thought they were both really sharp last night. And so Theory's got a SummerSlam rematch against Lashley for the U.S. title. And then he's saying, these are my intentions. There's a last man standing match. I mean, it's clear as day. This is obvious what he should be saying. There's a last man standing match with Roman and Lesnar. These two monsters are going to kill each other, and then I'm going to reap the benefits from that and be the youngest, undisputed, super duper unified champion. Mm-hmm. Which, man, I don't know. I don't think they would do that. But goddamn, could you imagine if he's got the U.S. title and the undisputed both those titles? That'd be. Yeah. You want to crown somebody? I don't know if that's the way to do it, but man, that'd be something else.
I mean, if it was organic and logically built to that moment, it'd be great. It's not quite there yet with Theory. I mean, they've been saying ever since this match was made between Brock and Roman that it'd be like the most opportune time to cash in. Commentary's been saying that for weeks.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. When you say organically, that is. It's he won Money in the Bank.
No, I mean, in terms of it. It is storyline wise. I mean, in terms of the buildup of his character, if it's organically built, so like it seemed like okay, naturally this will crest at this moment and it'll be huge for him. But like we talked about after he won Money in the Bank, it just kind of feels like, well, I can see why they're having Theory with the briefcase, but at the same time, this isn't exactly a character yet that when they cash in, it'll be like, oh, okay, cool moment. Other than just a cash in. You know what I mean?
Well, so I don't disagree. Here's I guess where there would be some. You remember when Seth cashed in? Mm-hmm. Whenever you cash in on, and I think this is why. Look, I wouldn't be into it, but I will say this: when Seth cashed in, he was cashing in against Lesnar and Reigns, same as this situation coming up, right?
Yeah.
And what were we all thinking at the time? Is he going to be able to pull this off? There are monsters in the ring right now. There are absolute monsters in the ring. And whenever you have that, all of a sudden you're like, okay, I want to see this guy do this. Even if it's theory. If in theory, it's a bit more because this dude can get his ass whooped. He might very well, I'm not sure I'm a bet against it, but he might very well beat Lashley.
As old Zero Star here has mentioned, he couldn't even beat Lashley at Money in the Bank.
Right, he couldn't. He might very well at SummerSlam. And if you remember, Rollins couldn't beat Orton at WrestleMania. If they have, look, I'm not saying I want it. I'm saying this is a good discussion to have. If he goes in there against these two monsters after they have literally beat the living crap out of each other, just completely decimated each other. It's a last man standing match. And he runs out there, at least from my perspective, I'm going to be like, dude, get this done. Get this done. Because anybody going in there against those monsters, I'm going to be like, get this done. And then I'll worry about the consequence. Because it'll be lame. Like, he'll show up the guy, like, he can't beat anybody. According to the character they have painted for us, he gets dominated by Bobby Lashley, the U.S. champion right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's not like a Seth Rollins where this guy has a history of beating people and being clever enough to do that. And that's the difference.
Yes, that's what I was talking about, the difference in terms of the organic build. Because Seth, he'd been in the main roster for, 3 years or 2 years prior to that.
If they had kept the thread going, remember when he fought Big E and he was like standing toe-to-toe with Big E and you and I were kind of complaining about it because like, man, Big E should be a lot more dominant. If they had kept that thread going where Theory was proven to be a crafty competitor who could beat people on his own accord, then it'd be one thing. Different. It'd be different. But he's not. I mean, he gets his ass kicked all the time.
Yes.
But that being said, if he cashes in on those guys, it's going to be interesting. And I wonder what story they're going to tell with that. So because he's at the very least, he's going to make his presence known. And I love that there's a little bit of history with him and Brock at Elimination Chamber and Brock F5'd him. I always liked that about Theory too. When they did that Elimination Chamber thing, it was like he was the one guy to try to take it to Brock. And I like that. And again, if that was a thread they had continued with instead of the guy who kind of gets his ass handed to him now.
Yeah. I mean, he lost to Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
I know. Yeah, and it's like if you hadn't done that detour and if you had made some different steps along the way, it's like, man, if this guy had gone on like sort of a win streak instead of, I don't know. I know. So, yeah.
I mean, he loses to Pat McAfee and then Vince beats Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on.
It's honestly, it's like it would be reminiscent of Jericho's undisputed title reign, where it's like this guy can't, like, he's not legitimately beat. Like Jericho at that point was painted as a chicken shit heel who just could not win legitimately in any way, shape, or form. He'd always get his ass kicked, and it's like, I just don't believe this. Of course, Triple H is going to come in and take that title from him.
Yep.
Titles. So, anyways, let's just go ahead and dive into it. It did open with that Bobby Lashley promo. He says, Independence Day holds a special place in all of our hearts. He says, I couldn't be more proud to be the new United States champion. He says, but it's not the title makes the man, it's the man who makes the title. He says, there's not another man who could beat me for this U.S. title. That brings out Austin Theory. He asked Lashley, he says, why do you get to kick off Raw when everybody's been waiting to hear from me? He says, sure, you've won the title. He says, but I'm the youngest Mr. Money in the Bank in history. He says, you had me, but I shined in the, he says, you had me, but I shined in the clutch and proved to the world that I could do this all day superstar. Lashley says, he says, no, being a jackass comes second nature to you. He says, you got an opportunity you didn't deserve, but if you want to be put in the hurt lock again, in theory, he says, yeah, you're going to try and fail tonight. He says, but I'm going straight to the top with Money in the Bank. At SummerSlam, I get my rematch against you, and whoever's the last man standing at SummerSlam, they're going A-Town down. I'm going to cash in Money in the Bank and go down as the greatest undisputed champion in history. And Lashley says, if you make it to SummerSlam, he says, but it's the 4th of July, and the fans deserve some fireworks. Big brawl breaks out. Theory hits Lashley with the briefcase. Bobby turns the tables. Theory hits Theory with the spine buster. I think at one point the briefcase opened up and the fans saw there was no contract in there. They started clowning him. They were like, "Oh, the briefcase opened up. There's nothing in there." It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Then we're backstage. We get a Mysterio's interview. Dom says there's no one in the business that he'd rather learn from than his dad. This is in response to what Finn said about Ray being a bad father. The Ray says, "Oh yeah, we're the only father-son duo to ever win the tag titles, so I must be doing something right." And he says, "It's my first match in 10 years in my hometown, and it's Dom's first match in San Diego, so we're going to show Judgment Day a thing or two about respect." That match happens next. Finn's got pants, and that's about the only highlight for Judgment Day.
And again, I just don't see it as a highlight. It's different. There wasn't even any like cool trim or graphics or design on him.
There's just a little purple on it. There's some purple on it. That was
I think he was wearing like a purple rag out of the back of his pants or something.
Yeah.
It was like some purple thing. I don't know what it was.
Some piece of cloth.
It's like he had to borrow somebody else's pants because he was like,
It looked like that. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, my pants aren't ready yet.
Left my trunks at the airport."
Covering up his thigh meat, and that's a heel move. So yeah, the Mysterios, they hit double 619s on Judgment Day. Ray's looking for a frog splash. Finn gets his knees up. That gets him a 2 count. And then Priest slides a chair in the ring. And so Dom tries to get it. And Finn kind of gets it away from him. And he's about to hit Ray with it while the ref has his back turned. Instead, Ray pulls an Eddie Guerrero. Bumps on the mat, acts like Finn hit him. So the ref turns around, sees Finn holding the chair. Ray on the mat, DQs Judgment Day.
Yeah. I mean, they get theirs a little bit later, but that was stupid. After that, we had a Miz interview. He's responded to the Logan Paul stuff. He says, "I love confidence and people making outlandish statements, and that's what Logan does. But in WWE, that will humble you." Miz, he says, "I made the same mistakes Logan did." And he tells Logan to accept his offer, and we'll become tag champions. He says, "If not, Logan will be humbled." And he says, "Tonight I'm going to show AJ Styles that I've got massive American supersized balls." Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had Street Profits. They're hosting a 4th of July party.
They seem to be over what happened on Saturday pretty
well,
quickly.
Montez mentions it. Montez mentions his shoulder is up. So Alpha Academy steps in. Gable, of course, tells them to shoosh. And then he mentions how he'd be partying after you lost at Money in the Bank. He says, "Luckily, I'm here to give you all a history lesson on the Declaration of Independence." He pulls out a piece of paper, and Ford kind of looks over Gable's shoulder and says, "Oh, it says right here that everyone has the right to tell Gable to shut up." And then Dawkins says, "We know Ford, he's an American hero because he was in the Marines, and I'm a former hot dog eating contest champion." Otis is like, "Oh, yeah? Well, I could eat more than you," and that sets up a hot dog eating contest for later on.
So, like, I get that he mentions and everything, but I don't know. Like, at some point with the Street Profits, don't you do the thing where they're coming into Raw with a head full of steam and they're pissed off about that match? You know,
I mean, that's what it should have been.
I know.
know.
That's sort of what I'm referring to.
Like they should have went right into Adam Pearce's office and said, "We want a rematch right now."
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, we've got a 4th of July party going on. Well, we're gonna go there, but first we want to make sure we have a rematch." He's like, "Okay, you guys have it. All right. Who wants some hot dogs?" After that, we had AJ Styles. Oh, I'm sorry. After that, we had Judgment Day getting their heat back, attacking Ray and Dom backstage.
Kind of.
Too little, too late, nerds.
Exactly.
Then we had AJ Styles versus The Miz. Another good match between these two. AJ picks up the win clean with a phenomenal forearm. Afterwards, Ciampa attacks AJ. Misses a running knee, though. AJ hits him with a Pele kick, looks for a Styles clash. Miz then rolls up, hits a skull-crushing finale on AJ. And he and Ciampa shake hands. So I guess this alliance is real now, as opposed to Miz not knowing what Ciampa's doing.
Solidified, I guess so, yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess so. Then we had Liv Morgan's promo. She comes to the ring, says she's proud to be the new SmackDown with champs. She says all of my dreams finally came true at Money in the Bank, and the fans helped her do it. They stayed with her on this journey. They believed in her, even when she didn't give them much to believe in. And they gave her confidence, the confidence she needed to win Money in the Bank and cash in on Ronda the same night. And she says, "I hope y'all understand this isn't just for me, it's for all of us." And then she's interrupted by Natalya. It says, "Liv, you should be thanking me. I'm the reason you were able to cash in because I tore up Ronda's knee thanks to Sharpshooter." And she says, "While I'll take a thank you, I'd much rather take your title." And Liv says, now that we'll be sharing a locker room on SmackDown, you know where to find me." Carmella comes out, says, "Hey, you should go back to SmackDown and leave the spotlight for me. Liv says, well, all eyes were on you yesterday when you lost to Bianca. And if you want me to leave, come make me. And so Carmella and Natalya attack Liv. Bianca comes out to make the save. Adam Pearce comes to the stage, says, we're going to have a tag match. So that match happened next.
Tag match. That's right. That match happens next, like you said. This was fun stuff. But of course, the good guys get the win here. What was the finish here?
Liv got the win on Natalya.
Yeah, that's right.
There was that great bit where Natalya had Liv in the sharpshooter, and Bianca kind of kneels down on the apron and uses her braid.
Oh, that was
puts
cool.
In the ring and pulls
fun.
Liv back into their corner so she can tag in. That was pretty cool. But in the end, Liv gets the hot tag and ends up hitting Natalya with her finish to get the win. And then we're back to the 4th of July party. MVP is telling Amos, hey, I know things didn't go right in Money in the Bank. We just need to stay the course. Everything will be fine. The 24/7 division runs through. Reggie runs into Amos. He just throws him off camera. And then we go over and the Street Profits are talking to Ezekiel. Mm-hmm. And he's all zeked up for the 4th. He says, his brothers and himself would do pie eating contests. And he's asked, well, who would win? He says, well, there really wasn't a winner because we'd all end up barfing. He says, Dawkins, good luck with your hot dog eating contest. Hopefully it doesn't have the same result. And he's trying to put ketchup on his hot dog, but he's aiming the ketchup like upwards.
You ever had that issue putting ketchup on a hot dog or mustard or something? Like you forget how to aim it properly?
No, it's never happened for me.
It's a little weird, huh?
It was kind of weird. But anyways, he shoots Seth, who of course is wearing a white shirt and white pants.
Dude, that was a great
ketchup all over.
It was a great outfit though, because the white shirt was like a mesh white shirt, so you can see.
Yeah, it was like it had like
underneath.
lace and stuff on it. Yeah,
he got that ketchup all over him too.
It was pretty funny that Ezekiel takes the hot dog bun and tries to wipe it off with a hot dog bun.
It happens. And Seth yells, ha ha ha! And as he's laughing, he starts doing his dance.
It was pretty funny.
And then he stops laughing, and then Zeke starts trying to sop up the ketchup with a hot dog bun. It was ridiculous, but it was pretty damn funny. So they have a match then after that, and of course Seth Rollins gets the win here with a stomp, and then he leaves, and then he's like, I'm not done with this guy. He comes back, and he's like he's about to hit him with another one, but before he can do that, he runs at him, and then Riddle just comes out of nowhere and hits him with an RKO. So that should be a hell of a SummerSlam match right there, man. Yep. That should be hell of a match.
It should be really good. Then we're backstage, have the hot dog eating contest. So you see Dawkins, you see Otis. The whistle blows, and the winner is announced as Tozawa, who was sitting to Otis's left off screen. So he ate 48 hot dogs, and I think Dawkins, it was 20, or Dawkins had 21, Otis had 22, or maybe it was 22. 22.
No, it was 40, 48, and then they said Tozawa ate 72. It was like a ridiculous number of hot dogs. Like, it was gnarly.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
Or maybe you're right. Maybe it was 20, 21, and
yeah, I thought it was 21, 22, and then Tozawa had 48.
That's ridiculous.
So Chad Gable's like, there's no chance that Tozawa beat Otis. And Otis is all, I don't feel too good.
Yeah.
And Theory steps in and is like, hey, we got a 6-man tag tonight. You got to be at your best.
Mm-hmm.
Otis wasn't exactly at his best, though.
No, he wasn't. It was pretty awesome.
Out for the entrance.
It's like Damon Kemp after all those beers. Yeah. So they did the thing where Lashley comes out first for the entrances, and then there's like, before the match starts, it's a good 20 minutes. It was forever because they did like the entrances, more commercials, more entrances, more commercials. It was forever. Yeah, this is pretty bad. So yeah, of course, let's see, Gable ends up eating the pin here after a spear from Lashley. This is a really, really fun match though, and Lashley and the Profits had really good chemistry. Otis gets in the ring. And this dude just throws up. They replayed this like 3 times, and at least one of them was in slow motion, and you just see chunks of hot dog. This was disgusting.
It was gross, and it just barely avoided hitting Chad Gable right in the face.
Oh God, this was so gnarly.
It was pretty great. Yeah. The only way that it could have been improved is if he had thrown up when Lashley speared him.
Remember that time Xavier Woods threw up in TNA? That was gnarly. That was like mid move. Oh
yeah. Yep. So then we have a Becky Lynch interview. This is right after Otis throws up, and she says Otis doesn't get to share my spotlight. She asked her, "Are you upset about losing Money in the Bank?" And she says, "Yeah, my body is broken to bits, and I'm mad as hell." She says, "Ever since Asuka's come back, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong." She says, "I should have just gotten a one-on-one rematch against Bianca rather than having to get into the Money in the Bank match. I shouldn't even had to qualify for Money in the Bank as it is." She says, "But tonight I get a no-holds-barred match against Asuka, and I'm going to fight my way back to get my Raw Women's Championship." She says, "Asuka isn't ready for no-holds-barred Becky."
Yep. After that, R-Truth, dressed up as Uncle Sam, drops a promo. He comes out. He says, "I'm the one, the only Uncle Sam." He says, "Today is my favorite holiday. Today we celebrate our Independence Day." As he said, "As we all know from the movie Independence Day, we're here to honor those brave American heroes that saved the Earth from an alien invasion in 1996. Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, and we can't forget our favorite American hero, Vivica A. Fox." He says, "As we honor them," he says, "I want to read my favorite passage from the Constitution." And he pulls out this crinkled-ass piece of paper and just says, "Welcome to Earth." You know, the Will Smith line. So then Ludwig Kaiser comes out and he introduces a man who is worthy of celebration. He says, "Stand and pay your respect to Gunther." So Gunther walks to the ring. R-Truth gets the crowd chanting "USA, USA." Walter steps up to him and slaps the shit out of him. He takes the wig off R-Truth. They have a match. It was pretty quick. Ends with a powerbomb on R-Truth from Gunther. Gets the win.
Yep. Then we go backstage. Alexa Bliss interview. She's asked about Liv winning the title at Money in the Bank. And she says, I said before I don't have a whole lot of friends around here, but I'm happy for Liv. She says, but it did make me realize, Liv winning the title, that I haven't really held anything besides Lily, so it's time for me to start going after some championships. And how cute would it be for Lily to have like a little title belt around her waist? And then Asuka steps in and says that she'll beat Becky tonight and become the next Raw Women's Champion.
Asuka, everything she does is so fun. Even like saying like two sentences. She just puts everything into it. Oh, I love her so much.
Oh, she's great.
Anyways, this match was up next. Yeah, what was this? Technically it was a no holds barred match. Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, man, this was terrific. Asuka came to the ring with an awesome hockey mask and a garbage can. She was ready to throw. This was great. It had all sorts of stuff. So Becky hits an exploder on a pile of chairs on the floor, clears off the announce table, blasted. They were just hitting each other with chairs left and right. Asuka hip attacks Becky through the barricade at one point.
Yeah, that was cool.
Asuka hits a superplex. She just has like this giant pile of chairs on the mat at one point. Hits a superplex on that. Asuka puts a trash can over Becky and just goes to town. Just kicks and strikes. Hits a missile drop kick. Gets 2 with that. Asuka then gets a table from under the ring. Becky throws her into the ring steps. Puts the table in the ring. Blasts Asuka with the chair, sets up the table. Asuka then goes up behind Becky as she's finishing up setting up the table, tries to get the Asuka lock on. Becky rams her into the corner. Asuka punches her off the apron, gets her back in the ring, gets a parasol, the little umbrella thing from under the ring, swings it at Becky. Becky catches it and then gets it up and opens it right as Asuka is trying to miss Becky. And so a little bit of it gets on Becky, but the majority of it was really well timed.
Yeah,
gets on the really parasol. So Asuka ends up hitting a head kick, puts Becky on the table. Becky gets up as Asuka's going up to the corner and then just runs up there, hits a manhandle slam through the table for the win. These two are absolutely terrific. And I love this sort of just ongoing rivalry between these two. So yeah,
and I really appreciated that after the match, after the finish, the manhandle slam, the pitfalls count. You could see that Becky was checking on Asuka.
I love seeing that stuff. I know because I notice it a lot more these days, especially after a match like this. But I think of the last match they did also. Like there was that little sort of, you sort of grab at the other person or whatever, pinch them or whatever. No, I love seeing that stuff. And to see these two just know each other so well in the ring. Oh man, it's so great. Even a little thing like when Asuka had, and I just like this stuff because I like watching the communication, the nonverbal communication. When Becky had, when Asuka had the trash can on Becky and she hits all those strikes and stuff. And then she taps the garbage twice. as she's going up because it's Becky's cue to stand up.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. It's just the nonverbal communication is great.
Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff. Also good stuff. We had Impact Against All Odds Friday night. It was a fun show. I don't guess there is anything necessarily major that happened. Have we heard anything about Tasha Steelz yet? How she's doing?
I'm hoping that no news means good news. Let me see if she's tweeted since then I'm assuming things are cool. But
because the finish looked rough. It looked rough. Otherwise, we didn't watch the 2 kickoff show matches. Taurus defeated Laredo Kid.
So she's been tweeting quite a bit.
All right. Well, hopefully that means she's all right then.
And none of it seems like it's like, hey, I'm fucked up or anything.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Then Brian Myers defeated Rich Swann to become the new digital media champion in a .combat match.
.combat. Yeah, they were using all sorts of like there was like a keyboard, I think.
Uh-huh.
It was like,
that sounds right.
It was like
a mouse.
I think so, probably. Yeah.
A monitor.
I believe there was a monitor involved. Yeah.
A PC tower.
Should have been like a modem.
Ooh, like an old modem.
You've got mail.
The main card kicked off with Motor City Machine Guns taking on Bullet Club's Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Motor City Machine Guns got the win here, a bit surprising. Then it was Chelsea Green, Deanna Prasso taking on Mia Yim and Mickey James. Chelsea Green and Deanna got the win here. Then we got an awesome match between Mike Bailey and Trey Miguel. Whenever these two guys get in the ring, you're going to get something good.
Man, these guys are great. And this match was great.
It was.
Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie defeated the Influence.
The finish of this I thought was pretty clever because, of course, Giselle Shaw is taking over from Madison Rayne. And the Influence had this match won. Problem is, Giselle Shaw did not know how to do the Influence's finisher. And it cost them the match.
Imagine that. How great is that? It's so you never think that you're going to see that in wrestling. Like, wait a second. I'm new to a group. I need to learn how to do their finish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you got to do your due diligence beforehand, man.
Exactly. Then we had Honor No More losing again.
Oh,
out of nowhere, they pulled out the story that they don't trust PCO.
Yeah.
Which it was basically out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was.
And so that distrust ended up costing Honor No More this bout. They lost the Good Brothers, America's Most Wanted, and Heath. And then in a really fun Clockwork Orange House of Fun match, Moose defeated Sami Callihan.
Oh, that match was amazing.
It was really
fun.
That
was gnarly. God damn, what a good match that was.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Grace defeated Tasha Steelz. Another really good match.
Yeah, the finish was rough. So Jordan Grace had to muscle Tasha up for it wasn't
the Muscle Buster. It's her old finish.
The
driver she does.
Grace driver.
Something like
driver?
that. Yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
In any event, but she really had to get her up there, and then it just looked like all the impact of that was on her,
right at the top
top
of the shoulders and neck. Yeah.
It was pretty rough, yeah. And then the ref kept on throwing up the X, and then we got one report from a friend who was there that just said when she got out of the ring, she was sort of screaming in pain, but that she wasn't stretchered off. So, it looked gnarly, and then there was nothing said about it, and apparently she's fine. So hopefully that's the case.
Hopefully that is the case. And then in a fun main event, Josh Alexander defeated Joe Doring to retain the Impact Championship.
Yeah, that was good stuff. First time Joe Doring has been pinned in an Impact ring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's also a SmackDown. We'll go over the basic results here. Baron Corbin won the good old-fashioned Battle Royal. So now he is WWE Supremacy, because it was said during the match that this match, the winner got WWE Supremacy.
I mean, yeah, there's no reason this match needed to exist. I'm not saying it was bad. Battle Royals are fun.
Well, the thing is, it took away from the last match.
I know.
So I had sort of spoiled for myself that Madcap was getting into the match, the Money in the Bank match, and so when all that stuff was happening in the beginning, I was like, oh, cool. Is this for the last chance thing?
Yeah. No, it's confused me too, because I heard about the Battle Royal and then a qualifying match, and I was like, well, what was the Battle Royal for?
Supremacy in WWE. That's what we learned.
It doesn't make any sense, though.
Because when I think supremacy in WWE, I do not think Baron Corbin. He should not be anywhere near a match if it's for true supremacy in WWE.
No, and if you're going to judge like who's best, that's what titles are for. That's the whole
who's
nature of
best is
championships.
one thing, but supremacy.
Well, that's what I mean. Who reigns supreme
They're not
over
really
the company
necessarily
is
the best.
champion.
You know, it's not like the
Champion.
best.
That's the whole idea of what championships are about. So Viking Raiders and New Day, we're gonna have a match. However, Viking Raiders just beat them up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, with their shields. Mm-hmm. Those are some brutal looking shields.
Yeah. Then we got Team Raw, which is Asuka, Liv Morgan, and Alexa Bliss taking on Shotzi, Lacey Evans, and Raquel Rodriguez. Liv got the win for her team in advance of Money in the Bank. And then we finally got the debut of Maximum Male Models.
To titillate the juices of your guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
This was great. It's
a situation where it's dumb, it's ridiculous, but because everybody's having fun with it, it works.
You know, WWE's been pretty decent at that lately. Sometimes, like in the past, they've tried to like shoehorn people into a certain gimmick, and I think they've just realized that we need to make sure that we've got the right fit with the right stupid gimmick. Mm-hmm. And these Mace and Mansoor, and even LA Knight as Max Dupree are great at this. Absolutely perfect for this, and I have no idea how far this is going to go or what they're going to do with it or what the ceiling is, but god damn it, it was
pretty funny,
awesome. And I popped so hard, I laughed so fucking hard on when Mace came out and Max Dupree. So Max Dupree's in the ring and he's got his little cards with him and he's doing all the descriptions. You know, Mace comes out and he describes the muscularity of the shoulders,
of the calf. Yeah.
And let's go down to his his thighs or whatever. And he's all this very elegant way of a very poetic way of describing them. And then in the very end, the last thing he says after being so descriptive, he says, "And don't forget the ankles."
Oh, that's so good.
He doesn't say shit if he just says, "And don't forget the ankles." And Pat McAfee is popping hard the entire time. Oh man, this is
then
great.
afterwards he's describing the segment, and Michael Cole's on the verge of laughing.
I know, yeah.
He's
got the fanny pack over the chest. Oh man, this was hilarious.
Yeah, Mansoor was really towing the line really well of laughing at the joke, but being completely immersed in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like he was out there, you look at his mouth, he's about to crack up the whole time, but he pushed his sunglasses down a little bit. He had the gaze.
And it's just conviction. Yeah.
It is. It is. It really is.
Oh, this was great stuff. Titillate. The juices. It's the most Vince thing. It is. And this is one thing that might be sad, dude, when we lose Vince, is I don't know if we're gonna get shit like this anymore. I really don't. Because like you could this has Vince all over it. Titillate the juices of your guilty pleasure. You can hear him say it.
I know. You can't. Main event saw Madcap Moss defeat Happy Corbin, Ezekiel, and The Miz to earn the last spot in the men's Money in the Bank match. Now, I thought, as mentioned before, the Battle Royal was qualifier. I was wrong.
No, that was for WWE Supremacy.
It's just a nebulous concept. They have like physical things that determine if you're best, and those are championships.
Right. Or whoever wins is Battle Royal.
I mean, they literally had a Battle Royal, and Braun Strowman won a belt, and then like 2 weeks afterwards, it was like it never happened.
Because here's the thing. Now, if my prediction for SummerSlam goes correct, Pat McAfee will then be the lineal champion of WWE Supremacy.
That's correct.
So and I like that because Pat McAfee is amazing. He's great.
He is great.
I know you didn't watch Rampage. I watched most of it, so we can just talk about it really quickly. I know you've probably seen on Twitter the finish to this Royal Rampage.
I actually haven't seen anything.
Really? You didn't see? So you know who won?
Yeah.
Because you told me who won.
Yeah, Brody King won. I knew that.
Brody King won, and the way he did so it came down to him and Darby, and they both ended up. Brody was inside the ring and Darby was on the apron. This fool hung Darby by choking him out. Woo. And his feet were not on the ground, were not on the apron. and Darby passed out, and then he just lets him go, and he just falls to the floor.
Oh, wow.
And that's how he won. It was awesome. It's great for Brody King. He's terrific. He looks legit.
Yeah,
him and Mox will have a killer match.
That's on Wednesday on Dynamite tomorrow, I guess. And I wonder if this is going to be, if they're going to transition to a Malachi.
I hope
Mox
so.
feud.
I absolutely
That'd be pretty
hope
great.
So. That'd be awesome. That'd be really great.
That'd be cool. Then also Young Bucks defeated Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. And then Tony Storm defeated Nyla Rose.
Yeah. The Young Bucks and Goto and Yoshihashi was terrific. Was outstanding. Just a really, really great match. So yeah, if I was you, if you have time, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll try to check it out before Dynamite tomorrow.
Yeah, Tony Storm and Nyla Rose is really good too. That was a good match. All right, Larson, we're gonna answer some questions. What do you say?
Sure.
Answer the questions. Goodfellas is on Netflix. I was watching that this weekend.
Oh, what a great movie.
There's so many things I should be watching instead of Goodfellas. But
you can't go wrong watching a fantastic film.
I was like, I just want something that I'm familiar with, that I can sort of look at my phone while it's on and pop my head up for the good bits. Here's the problem.
It's all good bits.
All the good bits. It's the entire movie is nothing but good bits.
It's a spectacular film.
There's nothing that you can just not watch in that movie. Nick Heil says, who should be the next two models other than Dijak and Pretty I don't think Pretty Deadly should be anywhere near this.
Oh, it should be Giovanni Vinci. It fits perfectly.
Vittoria.
His gimmick. Maximum Male Models. Although with everybody in Maximum Male Models, their first name starts with M, so he'd have to get a new first name.
Well, okay. I don't know. So I don't know if Giovanni Vinci works either, though. I feel like he's not supposed to be with anybody's agency. He is the boss. Hey, by the way, I saw this great picture on Instagram. It was on Andrade's Instagram. And it's a picture of him and Roosh. And they're all just sitting there looking like cool guys, right? Because they're super cool guys. But in the middle was Jose. Now, Roosh and Andrade were wearing like blue suits. Jose was wearing a black suit. Jose looked like the Jefe. He looked like he was the boss. Telling you. He's the puppet master. Anyways, who else in WWE has a name that starts with M?
I mean, The Miz does.
Mize. That's too close to Maze.
Yeah.
Maze.
I mean, Montez, but he's not getting anywhere near Maximum Male Models. Not that he's not a handsome man, because he is.
Montez, that's perfect.
But I mean, if they want Montez to go on a singles run as a main eventer, then you don't want him in Maximum Male Models.
You also don't want him backstage at the 4th of July barbecue.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You don't.
But the real Chestnut, Mustafa. Yeah. Yeah. Ali. That's good.
I mean, that's good. Here's the thing. It's enjoyable so far after one segment, but the ceiling of this is just like enjoyable segments.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like anybody involved in this right now, at least, is not getting in any sort of real title contention. And
they were never going to do that. They were never getting there anyways. That was never going to happen.
What, Mansois?
Yeah, and Mace.
Well, probably, yeah, but I'm just saying the basis of this whole gimmick is just going to preclude them from ever being taken really seriously as wrestlers.
Yeah, but that's sort of what Mustafa Ali is anyways. Might as well just have fun at this point.
Well, I guess I don't want him to be in that situation, so no thank you.
Pretty much done.
And if Ford's going to be a main eventer, then you don't want him involved in this either.
Cameron has a good one. Les Miz. So instead of Miz, Les Miz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Like if Miz is in it, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. He's not that good looking a guy anyways. Anybody else? Really? Nobody else named with an M?
You can always rename people.
What about an NXT? Is anybody in NXT with an M?
I'm sure there is, but I had a long weekend. I can't really think that well right now.
Grimes, Breaker, Cruz, Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson would be really good. I'll be on. Duke Hudson would be good in Maximum Male Models.
Yeah.
Moss. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Madcap Moss.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's a handsome dude.
I like him, though. I don't want him in that. The way you don't want Mustafa, I don't want Moss in there. I think there's still a chance for Moss. I don't think there's a chance for Mustafa.
No, I think you're right. I think he's just in a position where he has to, fulfill the obligations of his contract, and then he's going to move on.
He needs to go lead Bullet Club. That's what he should do.
That'd be great. I know, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be awesome.
Could you imagine Mustafa Ali versus Jay White?
It'd be incredible.
God damn it.
Oh, I got a name for Maximum Male Models about Mark Coffey.
He's a good-looking guy. I never remember what he looks like, but he's a good-looking guy. Whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, he's a good-looking guy. That's good, yeah. Mark Coffey.
Xavier Gray has 2 questions. Are The Miz and Ciampa like a new tag team? No.
Well, it's going to be...
Ciampa's is Miz's muscle.
Well, somebody here in chat said it could be those two against
AJ and Logan Paul.
Logan.
With Ciampa taking the pin.
Yeah.
So then they can still have their Miz Logan Paul one-on-one match at, I don't know.
There's a guy who should lead Bullet Club. Ciampa. Oh,
that'd be great.
Could you imagine Ciampa versus Jay White?
Then Xavier Gray also asked, what is Becky Lynch's reward for beating Asuka in the no-holds-barred match last night? Is she even the new number 1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship, or is this all BS?
I thought
there was no official...
Yeah, I thought they would have said that or something.
In terms of new number 1 contender. But Becky said, after I win this match, I'm on my way to get my title back. So I'm sure that'll lead to that.
She'll get it, yeah.
To lose in 25 seconds to Bianca at SummerSlam.
Yeah. David Matushek, how many other wrestlers do you think should try to do the Eddie spots in matches, and who should they be?
If it happened all the time,
Grimes. Grimes seems like the kind of guy who should do it.
But if it happened all the time, it would lose to a degree its appeal.
Yeah, you don't want to do that all the time. But if your gimmick, if your character is like you're a craftier dude, and then like a Grimes versus Braun Breaker situation where you're
NXT
going up
Bobby
against
Roode.
When you're going up against like a newer wrestler who isn't as experienced but has brute strength and speed or whatever.
Yeah.
Then so you try to outthink him. Like if you're Finn, you've been around so long. Why don't you just throw the chair down and you do the same thing, and then the ref has to figure it out?
Exactly. I know. Instead of acting like a damn fool.
Yeah.
Alex Foster says, I'm the only one who wanted to see if Truth could get Gunther to laugh. That'd been pretty funny. He got Brock Lesnar to laugh.
God, that'd be great. I don't know if I want Gunther to break like Brock, though. That might ruin the entire thing. Like seeing
although we did see Walter after people started talking about his or Dom's similarities to him physically do a 619. So he's got a sense of humor.
He does have a sense of humor. No, I mean look at his social media. He seems like the nicest guy. He seems like a gentle soul. But I don't know if I want that on my TV.
Oh no.
Let's see here. Luisa Reza is going to finish our questions off today. He says, what's your dream lineup of favorite/best Money in the Bank competitors?
Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. The matches are always really good. James Ellsworth. No. I don't know. I'm sort of more about the cash-ins than I am the actual matches. I've only seen the matches like probably one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't really rewatch them, I guess.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, my Mr. Money in the Bank is Edge and Rollins. Like, Edge I think has done it twice, and that first one was absolutely amazing. And then of course Seth Rollins. Yeah,
I'd have Shelton, RVD, Seth, because he's been in several of the matches along with winning one.
Oh, you're putting together like an all-time fucking...
Yeah, that's like the question,
isn't it? Is it? Oh, your dream lineup. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, so Shelton, Seth, RVD, Edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll put Daniel Bryan in there.
Put Jeff Hardy in there.
Jeff Hardy, there you go.
Was Jeff Hardy in it? Did he win Money in the Bank? No, he didn't win Money.
He never won Money in the Bank, but I believe he was at least in one of the matches, I would think. And if not, then it's weird that he wasn't.
We'll end with this one. Rising Knight says, you can only have one wrestler be reversed back into their prime age and be placed in this age of WWE. Who would it be? Oh, RVD. It'd be RVD. Oh, my God, RVD. Could you imagine him?
Macho Man.
Oh, yeah. My prime. Yeah. So anyways, that is going to do it for us. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be back. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. The week is all weird now because it's Tuesday and it feels like Monday. So tomorrow we do Rampage. I'm sorry.
No,
Rampage.
Dynamite.
We do Dynamite at night. And I think that's it. No numbers don't lie this week. We're taking a week off from that because we're going to be recording our G1 preview this week with Karen. And so, yeah, that's happening. So that's the deal. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the weekend wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.